Do you think it's weird that we put serial killers to death? No? Okay. It's just... No, just hear me out. I only ask because somebody got to kill all them, and it's usually the same person. So isn't an executioner just a serial killer that made it? Like, isn't he just like the industry plant of serial killers? Like, maybe not. I'm just asking questions. Okay. Y'all probably won't like this. Okay. I saw this story and it blew my mind. I still can't get over it. Okay. There was a guy in, I think it was Indianapolis in the 60s maybe, and he was essentially like, they didn't really have the words for it back then, but he was a serial killer, and he killed, and I think he killed and ate 8 women, right? And they caught him because he just got sloppy. He became a hoarder, And it was pretty easy. Once they walked in, they were like, there is evidence everywhere. I am stepping in evidence right now. This is crazy. And so then they, gave him the perp walk, and newspaper took his picture and everything. And then they were interviewing. They did a bunch of follow-ups, and they were interviewing his friends and family and stuff like that. And then they interviewed one woman who he went on a date with between number 4 and number 5, and she was like, I thought we had a great time and went back to his place, and then he, was being all rude and everything, and then he ended up kicking me out. And I was like, wait. As I was reading it, I was like, is she mad she didn't get eaten? It's hard to get context through text sometimes, but she just sounds so indignant. I'm like, wait. She doesn't even sound like, oh, thank goodness. She's like, what's wrong with me? Like, why? Like, all right, I'm delicious, okay? I bit my lip the other day and it was fire. All right? You don't know what you missed. But yeah, she said that, went back to his place. They were chatting and everything, and then like, I don't know, he just, all of a sudden he was all rude and stuff, and then ended up being like, I think it's best if you just go home. And there was a part of me that was like, look, maybe they were having a great date, great conversation, and then whatever was so special about this woman, he was like, I can't do it. I can't. She's too good of a person. Like, I got to get her away from me. Let me be rude. Let me just kick her out, something like that. Save her from me. But then the other part of me was like, no, I think this is the most annoying person that's ever lived. I think this dude is a serial killer, and he brought this woman home to kill her, maybe eat her, and then she just, at a certain point, the conversation's going so poorly, he's like, I can't even eat this bitch. Like, this. Like, showed a picture of her kissing her cat on the mouth or something. He was like, some things are just disgusting. All right. Sometimes I really worry badly that we're like, as people, that we're lost. And that one of the reasons we're lost is that we don't really have any more like heroes to look up to. I mean, some people have heroes, but then the hero's like an actor, and I'm like, what are you doing? You want to be like the guy that pretends? You know what I mean? And just I was thinking about it for a while over the weekend. Because what we used to have was very little access to anyone we considered a hero. And because of that lack of access, if you really wanted to know about this person, if they became famous enough in their own lifetime, there'd be a person that came, a writer that came and followed them around for years, maybe decades, and then they wrote a biography. And we didn't even give a second thought to how biased it probably was, or how much the writer may have come to love this person. We were just like, okay, wow, what a great human. But that's the problem. I don't even think that everyone makes it seem like Gen Z or Gen X or like millennials, all this stuff like that are so different. I don't think we are. I think every generation of people has always been hopelessly human. And now we just see all of it. That's what's so scary now, is that there are great leaders that may not get the chance because we already saw them not be like worthy. You know what I mean? We find out a lot of the stuff we find out about people now that we think are great after they died. And now we see all the stuff, we see all the mistakes happen in real time, and it makes people harder to follow. Do you really think you would have followed MLK if he did the Tide Pod Challenge? Do you think if a young MLK in high school was like, oh, all right, this is Martin here. We about to see what it do. And then 5 years later, he's like, march with me. They might beat our ass, but come on. No. I'm scared that's what's happening right now. I think that there's a brilliant, young, but smart for her age, wise old soul. There's a incredible person out there right now, a young Angela Davis right now, twerking. And like feet on the wall too, like nasty stuff. And then 20 years from now, when she's ready to lead a revolution, there are going to be people that are like, this you? This you with the booty? It's like, yeah, it was a different time. It's like, nah, I've seen it now. Yeah, this was tough. That's what we're all like. That's what's so scary. It's like, that's why it takes so much faith to follow a person, but it's hard to have faith when you've just been exposed to all the stuff. I'll tell you what, I was in a TSA line behind someone. I won't say who it was, but it was someone who I respect very much for her work, right? And this didn't change how I felt about her. It's just what piqued this idea in my head, okay? She was in line ahead of me in TSA, and both of our bags got flagged, right? And so then they were doing her bag first, but I was standing kind of like near her because my bag was next. And I was like looking at my bag being like, what did I do? You know what I mean? Because when they flag it, you're like, I don't own a gun or anything, so like, what could this possibly be? And it's always water. It's water every time. It's water. Every single time it is water. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, there's no way I could have let my box cutter fall into my backpack. And also when your bag gets flagged and you're just like black, you do just start wondering what could happen. You're like, all right, but could somebody have put something in my bag while I wasn't looking? Or like, started adding up the jail time and everything. So I'm standing next to her, and then they open up her bag, and there's a buzzing, and so the guy is like terrified, right? Because as soon as he unzips the bag, because at first he's like chill, he's like that deadpan, like, are there any sharp objects or things that could hurt me when I put my hand in? And she was like, no. And then she's like staring at the bag while he's unzipping it, and then there's a buzzing, and the buzzing is like really strong, and it's buzzing so hard. Now he has to look, and he's like, do you know what that could be? And she's like, no, I have no idea what that could be. And she's like, my alarm is on my phone. I don't know what that could be. And so now this dude, and this is where you could tell that TSA doesn't get trained. They don't get trained for the bad stuff to really happen like that. And so then TSA, this dude over here, the bag is right here, right? This man puts a back foot, he took a step back and bent his knees like he would run. And I'm like, but then what are we supposed to, because you're not telling us to back up. And you're not calling for backup. You just over here unzipped it through the flap. And then he starts taking some of her clothes out and everything, takes some of it. And like, when I tell you, like, look, I know it's gonna sound like I'm being hyperbolic, but I'm being like genuine. When he goes to lift like another clump of clothes, because you know, they're not careful when they do this. They're not like, oh, you folded everything so neatly. I'll just take 3 shirts at a time and move them out of the bag. They just grab and so he goes to grab, and when he ended up grabbing, what he grabbed was whatever was buzzing, and so then it was in his hand for a second, and then this man audibly screamed, right? So then he over here grabbing stuff out of her bag, and then he grabs it, and you can hear it gets louder when it's in his hand, and he pulls it like, and he's like, oh, oh! And then this vibrator went to town on that table. I've never seen, because it wasn't, okay, I don't know how she used it. This seemed like, maybe I'm just vanilla, but I wouldn't be able to handle something like this because it was jumping on, so it wasn't just moving along the table. It wasn't just, this thing was fully like, this motherfucker started breakdancing on the table. And then she was like, oh, that's my, he's like, I know. And now he got his gloves, but then even with the gloves, he seems scared to touch it, right? So then he gets it and like, I'm not acting like I would have known how to turn it off right away. But this really was getting away from him. Like, it really was like he finally grabbed it and he over here. I've never seen someone try to do police brutality on her back, because he tried to she tried to choke the life out of it. And then he finally accidentally turns it off. And he breathing all hard like, is there anything else in there? And she was like, no, that's the only one. And he's like, all right, you're good to go. Puts in, then and it did make me laugh at the moment. Like, so not only did he put it back in the suitcase, but then he really like put her clothes back like he was trying to kill it. Like he was. And when I bring the story up, like I said, it didn't make me judge her as a person. I still very much respect her. I'm just saying, if she were to lead a revolution tomorrow, I'd be like, all right, but are we going vibrator first? Because like, I just know that about you now. You know what I mean? I hope that's gonna lead the charge. You all have been phenomenal. Thank you so much. I'm Josh Johnson. You have a good night.
I guess we're all doing better than Diddy. Oh, what a week. All right, if you don't know, I'll try to bring you up to speed very quickly. Basically, Diddy has been the devil for decades. And it's really only this year that everything's sort of coming to roost, right? It sort of started with a lawsuit brought by his ex-girlfriend, Cassie. And, in the lawsuit is detailing horrific things you will not, like, you will feel sick if you read the lawsuit. And Diddy said it was all a lie. just nothing but disgusting lies about his character, and he settled the lawsuit the next day. I don't know about you, but I've never been lied on so hard that I was like, you better stop lying about me. I will pay you as much as you want for you to stop telling me all the stuff I supposedly did. I want to make sure that this is, how much does the check need to be? It won't be in escrow. It'll be in a check form in the morning. But I will pay you as much as it takes for you to stop lying before people start looking into what you said because everybody else is saying it. Well, no, it's crazy. And even more recently, more allegations and more investigations have been going into Diddy being an alleged, legally you have to say it, being an alleged sex trafficker and everything, to the point where, this week, the FBI raided all of his houses at once, just to make sure, every single one at the same time, make sure he wasn't house hopping or anything, just going everywhere. They grabbed all the homes and the homies and they pulled everybody outside, and it was truly astounding to watch, because if you've ever watched, like I watch a lot of news, so I remember like the Roger Stone raid. Anytime the FBI or Homeland Security does a raid, it's a weird hierarchy that you notice, because they'll show up to do the raid, right? So FBI or Homeland Security, they'll be fitted up, right? Top to bottom, they got the AR-15, they got the vest on, full body armor, they got the boots, they got the helmet, and then sometimes they actually have backup. Backup is SWAT. So then SWAT is also there dressed like SWAT, and we know what SWAT is dressed like. And then it will just be the regular police. And it kind of made me feel bad for the local police, because, like, imagine you show up to work and all your coworkers look like Call of Duty that day. And you just have to show up with your chest. That's unfair to them. Like, if I was a cop, I'd be like, y'all ain't got any extra ARs in the trunk or anything. I can't hold something. Y'all just showed up all prepared. Y'all said he dangerous. You know what? I'm gonna wait next to the car. That's what I'm gonna do. Y'all, this is bull. I'm not doing. And truly, watch any FBI raid. All the local police are next to the car in the street. They're like, no, they gonna get him. They gonna get him. Oh, you better watch out, because they coming. All right. But yeah. They raided all that dude's houses at one time, pulled people out, were like, interrogating people, were trying to look for stuff in the houses. And meanwhile, a lot of people have been waiting on Diddy's downfall for a long time, so they track his movements. And I want to take a quick second, because a lot of people, as this is mainly like a black thing, knowing about Diddy. Like, it feels like the world didn't know, but black people, we knew. We were like, nah, something happening with him that seems off. I don't know if I love that either. That's just been us for like 2 decades with Diddy, just being like, did y'all see that? You know what I mean? And so a lot of other people are catching up. So then there are things, when anything like this comes out, there are things where people ask, like, why is everybody talking about it now, coming forward now, stuff like that. I want to be clear. Diddy is not like a Harvey Weinstein in that way, right? Because with Harvey Weinstein, everyone started coming forward, and then people were like, why didn't y'all say something sooner? Look at him. We would have believed you. Like, we don't do a good enough job of believing women, but with Harvey, I'd be like, whatever y'all say he did, he did. I can just see it from his bill that he did whatever. But Diddy's a very different thing. Diddy's scary. A lot of people are scared of Diddy. And you want to know one of the reasons why people are scared of Diddy? Because of where he comes from. There's gangsters, then there's gangsters. Okay? Diddy's dad has ties to Frank Lucas. If you don't know Frank Lucas is who Denzel played in American Gangster. That's who Diddy's dad hung out with. That's who Diddy's dad did business with. So when you ever rewatch American Gangster and you see that scene when Frank Lucas, Denzel, stands up and in the middle, broad daylight, middle of the sidewalk, a dude disrespects him and he pulls out a gun and he shoots him in the head and kills him in front of everybody because he knows nobody will say anything. That's who Diddy's dad ran with, right? That's who taught him his like ABCs and stuff. You know what I mean? When you see that scene, that's a bone-chilling scene because it happened. That happened. He did that. He killed someone broad daylight because he knew no one around would say anything, right? So when you see that scene and you see Denzel do that, just know that one of the extras in the background, at least one of those kids, is Diddy. That's terrific, you know? And that's why people are getting so scared of him, because we know that he just moves differently, you know what I mean? And a lot of people have been waiting on his downfall for a long time. So when the FBI was raiding, people were like, where is Diddy? And you know how these kids are now? They're very smart. They can track anything. They track Diddy's plane. And so while the FBI is raiding all of his homes at one time, Diddy's plane is leaving America. And I don't mean getting fueled up. I mean, the plane is over just blue. That's the ocean. The plane is gone, right? And the plane is headed for Antigua. Now, Antigua is still extradite. So a lot of people are like, why would he be going over to Antigua? Then other people said, hey, maybe he's landing in Antigua because everybody knows that's his plane. He's going to land in Antigua. He's going to get on a friend's smaller plane, and he's going to go to a country that doesn't extradite, like Bali, right? So then that plane lands in Antigua, it comes right back. When it lands, turns out Diddy was never on the plane. He was in Miami the whole time. This man is a terrible rapper and an incredible villain. I've been thrown for a loop consistently with him. Like, this man should be in a James Bond movie. You know, a lot of people are just waking up to how Diddy is, you know. We knew. You know how you know that we knew? Diddy's the only black billionaire we didn't root for. It's a very big deal when you get a black billionaire. We're always like, oh, yeah, oh, he did it. Yeah. I remember when that guy, you know that guy that gave the commencement speech at Morehouse, and at the end of the speech he said he was going to pay for all the kids' student loans. That moment went viral. It was crazy. Kids were crying and everything, jumping up, screaming. I looked it up. I found the guy. His name was Robert Smith. Turns out he's a billionaire. He didn't give me any money, but I was at home like, we got another one. Diddy became a billionaire. We were like, good for you. I don't know about y'all, but I absolutely love when home drama spills out into the world. You know what I mean? I don't watch a lot of reality television, so I love when a real life couple just can't take it anymore. You know what I mean? Like they have to have it out, and they have to have it out now. And now is here. And here is where I am. So I get a free show. You know? I think it happens a lot in New York City because we don't have space. Like, y'all have real homes here. Y'all can be like, we will discuss this later. In New York, we don't have that. We're like, I want to argue in private at home, but home don't have no elbow room. I want to argue where I can move a little bit because I'm passionate with my movements. Now, if I'm arguing at home, one time I was arguing at home and I went like this to be like, oh, wait, you know, just like to hold it up. And then I hit my elbow, and there's no way to look right when you just stand there like, you know, so sometimes couples just have to have it out in that moment, you know? And I was walking I try to do this at least once a week. I was on a walk with no AirPods in, right? Just really like be around in the world, you know? And I think it's an important thing to do because it opens you up to what's happening around you. And I would have missed this had I had my AirPods in. I was walking, and as I'm walking, I see this dude bust out of the door of his house, right? He's running down the stoop of his brownstone, no shirt on, anything, looking terrified, like, look. And so I turn and I see what I can only imagine is his girlfriend or wife running behind him. And I was like, all right, this seems awesome. Let's see how it goes. And she has something in her hand, but it doesn't look like a gun, so I'm like, I'm willing to stay and see this through. Because you know, if it's a gun, people get upset, they miss. Now she done shot me, I'm bleeding out. I'm not even part of your love. I'm laying there holding my wound, y'all done worked it out. Like, this could all be for nothing. It's just she's holding something, but I can't see what it is, right? And as he's running down the stoop, she runs down with him, and she gets to this specific step, and then she goes like this, right? She goes like this, and then a piece of what she was holding flies out and hits him in the back, and he goes, ah! And then she lets go of the other thing that she was holding. It slides down the stairs, and when it slides down, it's close enough for me to see. And when I look, it was the sleeve of a Hot Pocket. This woman done burned the hell out of this man with a Hot Pocket. In the known universe, there are about 4 states of matter, right? There's gas, there's liquid, and there's solid. There's also plasma. Now, plasma can reach a temperature of about 45,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and just under that. Close second is Hot Pocket juice. Hot Pocket juice must be studied. This will burn your soul. Hot Pocket juice is far too hot. It is absolute insanity, okay? Because we've all been there. We've all been there where you were hungry, you heat up the Hot Pocket, that's gonna be quick, and then you went ahead and you put it higher than the instructions say, because you know when you follow the instructions, the middle cold. So then you put it at least 2 minutes higher than the instructions say, because you got a different type of microwave. Your microwave doesn't work like the box says. And so you put an extra 2 minutes, but now we're into heated territory that no one, even the people at the company, are aware of, right? And then you pull the Hot Pocket out, you hold it by the sleeve, and you wouldn't even be in this situation if you could just be a gentleman and wait, right? But you're hungry, you're greedy, you can't help yourself, and so you blow, you do blow. You do. You give it a good try, too. You blowing the bread. You're not doing anything for that juice inside. That juice is still bubbling like lava. Wait to bust out. And so then you take your first bite, and because you're hungry, because you're being greedy, you bite too hard, the juice pops out, it hits your lip, and you go, ah! Now you coughing because steam coming out of your mouth because you got the cornbread in your mouth with all the juice burning everything. Burning teeth. Just burning. Inexplicably, just burning and burning and burning. It's terrible. This woman was running after this man. We don't know what he did. I didn't stay for an interview. This woman was running down the stairs after this man and had the Hot Pocket sleeve in her hand. and reared back like an ancient weapon. Reared back. And flung the hot pocket, flung it like she had done it before. Like, she must be burning him weekly to have this sort of aim. If this was a game show, I could never sling it and hit what I wanted to hit. And she hit, not only did she hit him in the middle of the back. She hit him in the spot, so it's in just enough of a position that he can't really reach it. Like it's not here, and it's not here. Like this man is fighting for his life right now. She gave him 32nd degree burns. And my man's like, ah, and I want to help, but I'm like, I'm not gonna burn my fingers. Like, and then I had never stopped walking the entire time, but I did take off into a brisk jog because as he was holding the railing of his stoop, I saw her lift another hot pocket. I was like, let me leave before I witness a murder.
I think there are some things that as adults we should let go of. Like the notion that shower sex is even like possible. Like that's... What are we doing? Who are we trying to impress? It's us. We know what we're capable of. And we know exactly how slippery a tub is. Trying to have shower sex is right up there with trying to have sex on tightrope. You just over here. Hoping you gonna slip and accidentally do something good. Whoever's idea this was is the devil, because what possessed us? What video did we watch where we're like, I can do that too? It's never a good idea, ever. Even if you got the bath mat. Because what people don't tell you about that tub mat, it's got little suction cups at the bottom, but with enough pressure, it will slip right off. And so you standing on it, believing in it. Next thing you know, you wake up concussed. That's one of my greatest fears, to have some sort of, be trying to smash and get some sort of energy that like, I can do it. And then injure myself and give her the ick for the rest of life. I think if you fall during shower sex, the other person gets an automatic divorce if they want one, because it's already not sexy in the shower. You think you gonna fall sexy too? It won't happen. One foot gonna go this way, the other foot gonna go that way. You gonna grab the towel rack. Fighting for your life right now. Naked, fighting for your life. Over here swinging legs. I've slipped in the shower by myself and I've screamed every time. Imagine now, we in the shower together. I'm trying to lay down some pipe, all right? And then behind you, you hear, whoa! If I fall during shower sex, I better die. Because the last thing I need is to try to pick myself up with a black eye from hitting my face just right. Going like, do you want to try again? Over here concussed. There's just certain things we gotta stop. We gotta let go of. You know? We'd be happier for it. Because everybody want to tell you about, come back from the honeymoon and give you all the tea, all the sexcapades, you know, young, newlyweds, still spry, still got good knees, good hips. Because we don't talk about the small muscles. Okay, I once tore my right glute trying to get out of the shower. You ever lost your right ass before? It changed everything. I had to sit on a donut. Do you know what it's like to be in your early 20s sitting on a donut? People look at you like something really wrong. People look at you like you barely hanging on. It's devastating. And it was just off of a random movement. You know, I was getting out of the shower and just a little like, oh, you know what I mean? And at first I didn't think anything of it. Got out of the shower, dried off and everything. And then I went to sit down on the bed. I was like, uh-oh. Like I genuinely could not bend past here. Every night when I went to bed, I just had to fall into bed. Couldn't even get comfortable. I had to get my roommate to lift the covers and let me fall. And then he would cover me up. And I would just be like that until he came and got me. These were horrible circumstances. There was one day, we used to get up around the same time to go to work, and then one day he overslept. I had to scream. I had to scream for him to come get me. This man waking up, realize he late. I hear him in the other room, oh, shit. And then like grabbing, I hear all the movements, I hear all the clamoring, he's putting his clothes on and everything, and I'm like, hey! Hey! Heard the door close. I was like, guess I got to call in today. Don't sleep on the small muscles. Okay, take good care of yourself. You know? Don't let somebody pressure you into shower sex you know you're not capable of. It'll even happen where maybe somebody texting, maybe doing a little sexting, right? I like to keep my sexting grounded. Let's not talk about stuff we know is never gonna happen. If you bring up shower sex to me while we are sexting, I will block you. I have no problem doing it. What a weird thing to stand on. No, she cute, but she brought up tubs. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. She had to go. I had to kick her to the curb, all right? Anything to do with porcelain, that's too freaky for me. I don't like that. I don't know how you were raised, but I'm a Christian. Do y'all know like a scary kid? Like you can't bring it up because they're like your friend's kid, but you don't want to be left alone with them. Because as soon as everybody leave the room, they look at you, but they can't just look at you. They look at you with their whole body. My friend, okay, so I have a friend who he had a kid. Like what, 6, 7 years ago, his kid's gotta be, about 6 or 7. And anytime I go over to their house, kid will be playing or something. And now it's at least at the point that the kid can play video games or something like that. But even when he was just playing with blocks and stuff, my friend would like leave the room to go get something. And then the kid would just look at me, but he wouldn't just look at me with his eyes, he'd look at me with his whole body. He would just turn like, And I was like, and this is what scared me about that, right? Okay, so when I was alone with the kid and he'd be playing with the blocks, he'd be sitting flipping the blocks and everything, and like knocking them over, building them up, knocking them over, being all cute and everything. And then my friend would leave the room, and he wouldn't just turn on his little butt or something to look at me. He would stand up and turn. But then when his parents came back in, he'd sit back down like he didn't know how to stand. And that was very freaky. Because I would tell them, I'm like, hey, is he like standing up and running around and stuff? And they're like, not yet. So now I know I've been left alone with a demon. Because why are you only walking to scare me, you know? Didn't matter what it was. As soon as they walked out of the room, he'd pop up. Wouldn't even talk baby to me, just be like, I don't know what he wants. There was one time I was at their house and he was like in front of the TV, and then I went to the kitchen and they were, I don't know where they were, but then out of nowhere I turned in the kitchen and he's standing at the kitchen door, and I'm not gonna lie, I shouldn't even admit this, but just out of panic, I almost punted that kid. I almost like, imagine, just please, imagine for me that you going around the house just doing your regular thing, right? And then out of nowhere, a child that no one thinks can walk is just standing behind you. I was like, what in the boss baby is happening right now? I'm very excited to see Dune 2, because I think it's going to be a phenomenal movie. A lot of people like Dune, and I haven't heard anyone who saw Dune 2 have a bad thing to say about it. And I know it's a good movie because it's a good story. And I know it's a good story because growing up, it was the only time that I ever saw a dumb kid with a thick book. Dune is very thick. And they were always a bookmark deep into that book. Deeper than you can get in the Bible. Like the Dune might have more pages now that I think about it. And they would always finish it. I'm like, this must be an incredible story, you know? As adults, I think that we see the world in an objective way, because we're old enough now to have enough discernment to pull information in and decide how we feel about it, right? But I don't think that we see the world objectively, because I think by the time you're an adult, it's not that it's too late, but just too much has happened. You got too many biases, you have so much trauma, you have a lens you see the world through. That's why the only people who I think see the world the way it is are kids. Because they don't have all those filters, there's no like veil yet. That's why they take things so literally. You know? They'll be like, that's what you said, that must be what it is, right? Like when I was growing up, when I was learning to read, I was in class with a kid who misunderstood the meaning of sound it out, right? So instead of going ch, 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 chair, right? He would go, ooh! Ooh, chair. And that kid finished Dune. All right. I can't even judge him though, because I did the same thing in a different way. You know, when I was little, I played t-ball for a little while, and when we were playing t-ball, you know, coach, parents, everybody would say, keep your eye on the ball. Keep your eye on the ball, right? And I took it literally. Keep your eye on the ball. Now, we didn't have a big league of kids, and so sometimes we had to play the same team a couple times in one year, right? And there was one kid that really shouldn't have been playing. I don't know how many times he had been held back, but this was an adult. This was... You know that thing they talk about people always trying to do in the World Series? They were doing it in my local t-ball league, okay? This kid looked like he had a full-time job, and he would come up to the plate, and he was so good. Like, on top of being big, he was good. And teeth be right here, the ball would be right here. And he always managed to like crack the ball, not just like over, not just up, but like up, like really, like truly under to pop it up into the air, right? And I remember one time he did it. One time you could hear it. Hear the pop off that metal bat and the ball flying into the air. And I was keeping my eye on the ball. And the ball looked like it was gonna go into space. It got hard to keep my eye on the ball for a second, because like the clouds are white, the ball is white, and the ball is in the clouds. And then it starts to come down a little bit. I'm like, oh, I see it, okay. And I keep my eye on the ball. And then it's getting closer. But I keep my eye on the ball. And then it gets so close, I'm a little concerned, but like my coaches and my parents have been telling me, I keep my eye on the ball. And then the ball is in my eye. No one ever said catch the ball. They said keep your eye on the ball was the most important thing, and that's what I did. So then I crash to the ground, and he gets a home run because I'm laying next to the ball. I'll be honest with y'all, I don't smoke weed, but I let people think I do, because it makes me make more sense to people. Like if I told you my thoughts and you knew I was sober, you'd be like, ooh, is he slow or something? What's going on? But if I told you my thoughts and you thought I was high, you'd be like, he really on to something. I like how he thinks. That's fire right there. I'll give you an example right now. Like I wish I could talk to bugs. And not all the animals. I'm not trying to get input from everybody, just bugs. Because I feel like it would save a lot of lives, Because how many times have you been at home chilling, and in the corner of the room you just hear... But if you could talk to bugs, if you could be like, hey, bruh, no. Not tonight. I'm not in the mood. I'm gonna open the window, I'm gonna need you to leave. And then he'd be like, sorry. But because we don't speak their language, it's just every time. It's just murders in your house. Let's say you bring somebody home, you have a date, date's going well, date comes back with you to your place, you in the Netflix portion of the Netflix and chill. You got the arm around, y'all making out, and then just a cockroach walk out to the middle of the room. If you could just be like, Carl, no. Not tonight, I got company here, come on now. Come on, bro. He'd be like, I'm sorry, that's my bad. Even she'd be understanding. She'd be like, he had no way of knowing I was coming. That's it happens. If I could talk to bugs, first bug that I talk to would be a praying mantis. I just walk up to him and be like, she ain't good for you, dog. Nah, don't do this. You and the boys for a little while. She just using you for your body, okay? No, not even sex. You got a tasty ass head, and she wants to eat you. I watch the news sometimes when I'm like not depressed enough, sometimes you're having a good day, you turn on the news, you're like, let's see who else is having a good day, and the news is like, nobody. Nobody having a good day. Everybody died. I turned on the news and I saw Kamala Harris was in Jakarta, and she was in an interview with a journalist, and during the interview the journalist asked her if she would be ready, willing and able to take up the office of president if Biden was for whatever reason incapacitated, and she said yes, and it was just too quick. That's way too fast. And don't get me wrong, that's literally her job. Her job to be there in case he not there, she there, right? That's her whole job. But she said yes, like she been dropping banana peels at the White House for years. That's way too fast. She said yes, like every time Biden get on some steps, her mouth water. Just like, oh, okay, it's the day. All right, I'm going to get my promotion. Oh, he about to miss that third step. Let me get the right pantsuit on. She said it like just anytime she's walking down the stairs behind him, she sees her hair shaking like she about to lean forward. I could be a world leader. And you could tell, she said yes too fast. Because she said, yeah, so he asked her, she was like, yes, ooh. Like, shit. And so then she started backtracking, which just made it sound worse. She was like, I'm just answering your hypothetical. Like, you the one over here asking a question about Biden stronger than ever. All right, calm down. Do y'all see that they want to impeach Biden now? Do you see they're trying to open the investigation and impeach Biden? It's starting to feel like if you don't get impeached, you weren't really president. Like this started to feel like street cred for presidents. You know what I mean? They want to impeach it. Here's my thing about Biden. And calm down, because I can already feel it. For real. Like I said 2 words and already people were like, what? Like it was. This was so annoying about being American right now. You get like 2 words in and people try to suss out where you are. Like we haven't done that since the Civil War. Like chill out. I said 2 things. I just said, here's my thing about Biden. And immediately I could feel y'all's eyes on me like, oh, I didn't know they invited Candace Owens' brother to do a set. No. Here's my thing about Biden. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if you show me evidence, I'll consider something. I'm not a biased person. Maybe he doing everything that the Republicans say he doing, but when we look over him, he just look tired. Like he doesn't look. I mean, I'm not even saying he can't be corrupt. I'm saying he doesn't look capable right now. He look. You know, maybe he's the worst criminal that we've ever had in the office, but when you look over him, he just looked like the Snoop Dogg of soup. You know what I mean? Yeah, everything Snoop Dogg did for weed, Biden doing for soup right now. Like, he making soup cool. He trying to get the kids into soup. You know what I mean? Like, it feels odd, you know, because it's like maybe he's a criminal mastermind, but it feels like he just hanging on. You know what I mean? That's a grandpa, and we put him to work. That we did that, you know? You can't possibly believe that Biden is this criminal mastermind, but then also anytime he make it through a speech, we're like, that was pretty good. That was like, no, he really crushed that. He didn't slip on any of the S's. That was well done. You know what I mean? There was a couple T's, and he stuck them like Simone Biles. I'm really proud of it. Well done. There is one thing I will say, honestly, that Biden will be doing that's not on the up and up. If you watch as many press conferences as I watch with Biden talking, it's only when they ask him a good-ass question he start acting senile. I'm not going to lie. Like, anytime they got a good-ass question dead to rights, that's when he start talking about Disneyland and hanging out on Mars with Larry Bird. I'm like, you were fine a second ago. Like, you know, this feels weird. I don't know why more world leaders don't do that. You know, a lot of them, just start doing the Biden card. You get in trouble. That's what Putin should do. Think about it. Putin would buy a lot of goodwill if he just fell down a flight of steps every day. If every day for a month, Putin just, like just every day. You'd be catching people a month from now being like, he's a fucking war criminal. And we'd be like, yeah, but it looked like he got bad knees. Leave him alone. They try to interview him. They're like, why are you still laying siege to Ukraine? And he's like, Ukraine? Is that one of my grandbabies? Like, and they're even coming for Hunter now. You saw Hunter got indicted. That's wild. That's oof. They really coming for the Bidens hard, you know. I love Hunter. I really do. I really do. No, hear me out. I do. I love Hunter because I'm just so glad that the first person to smoke crack in the White House was white. That's beautiful. That's absolutely incredible. Especially if you know the history of crack in the U.S. You're like, wow, yes. Thank goodness. It really makes the White House to crack relationship feel like it's come full circle now. Yeah? I am disappointed though, I'm not gonna lie to you. I really do wish that Hunter would just get Joe to smoke crack. That would be the most fire presidency of all time. I know nobody's on board with this, but hear me out, okay? First of all, Biden will never fall again, all right? Crackheads do not fall, okay? You could push Biden and he still hit an angle. Like, it's like, I'm telling you, he'd never go down again. You'd never have to worry. He would skip steps on the way up. My man would be fucking feeling himself. You'd never have a boring press conference again. Biden press conferences are a snooze fest right now. Just, you know what I mean? Not on crack, not on crack. Not on crack. He'd be like, what? What was that? He got to scream because he sold the mic for money for more crack. But like, what was that? And Republicans would love if Biden was on crack because he'd finally be as bad of a president as they've been saying he is. Republicans could finally be like, he sold Indiana for $6 to China, all right? What the fuck we gonna do? We got citizens over there. And then as liberals, we would love if Biden was on crack because we'd finally have a Trump. You know what I mean? We act like we don't need a Trump, but we need one. We really do. As liberals, we need a Trump. We care about everybody feelings too much, but we get Biden smoking crack, Joe just going off, he not in control of what he's saying, we'd finally have a bully on our side, you know? Marjorie Taylor Greene be up there like, Joe Biden, you're a piece of shit. And then Joe, fully cracked out. Fully cracked out. It's like, oh, Mart, I'm a piece of shit? Well, you a lonely bitch. Aren't you getting divorced this year? Hope those conspiracy theories could keep you warm, lonely bitch. No, it'd be incredible. You would have to like rein him in though. You'd see Joe trying to wash the windshields of Air Force One. Mr. President, get down. Get down right now. Oh, it would be dope, man. How do I put this? I'll be honest with you, I've watched some porn before in my life. Thank you. And this is my thing. Porn, it gives people unrealistic expectations, you know what I mean? And we all know what they say about men, that porn gives men unrealistic expectations of sex, because porn makes men think, oh, if I just touch her elbow with my penis, she gonna lose it, you know what I mean? Like, if I just touch you, I'm like, ah! Thank you. But it's not just for men, it's for everyone. Porn gives everyone unrealistic expectations of sex, you know? Like, it makes men think that they're about to be sex gods, and it makes women think that the sex is about to be like good or whatever, you know what I mean? Everybody's gonna be disappointed. I am excited, genuinely excited to my core, happy for all of my white friends, because it's coming. It's coming. Like it's almost, your New Year is almost here. Like, pumpkin season is about to start. And yo, I've never seen white joy. Like, y'all love autumn so much. It's actually the only time that white people get together and just have love and white pride, and it's wholesome. You know what I mean? Any other time you're like, oh no. But but autumn, y'all get together and just, who would have known the thing that would capture the white mind would be leaves changing? That is
I'm not gonna lie, that's y'all's hip hop. It really is. Like, yo, leaves changing. Y'all are like, hey, that red, go off, cuz. You know what I mean? Y'all are out there apple picking, throwing up gang signs. I've never seen anything like it. Y'all travel. It's autumn where you are, and you'll still travel to where there's better autumn. I've never seen. It's so sweet. It's genuine. Like, I am like genuinely happy for white people when like pumpkins, because everybody makes their pumpkin jokes and like pumpkin latte, whatever. But like, let people have something. This isn't hurting anybody, and it makes white people so happy. This whole time, I thought money made white people happy. And no, it is something about Halloween that like, it's the sweetest. And I thought I had white people figured out. And then as I got older, I was like, it's really autumn where that's where you see some of the least racism in all the country, because everybody too busy like, have you tried this pumpkin spice? My man, yeah, get him. This is my other thing. We don't give visionaries enough credit. We think we do, because I had a conversation with a friend. They said this quote and it stuck with me, where they was like, we only appreciate, visionaries by the time they close their eyes, right? Like, we only appreciate visionaries after they're dead, And I was like, nah, we appreciate some of them, but most of them we never end up appreciating. Like, we make a couple of them popular because it makes us feel smart, right? Like, it makes us feel good to be like Ferdinand Magellan, whatever. And then sometimes we give people as visionaries that weren't visionaries at all. Then the real history comes out and we're like, we gave that dude a bunch of credit. He didn't really do anything. You know what I mean? Like Columbus. How are we still teaching this? This is crazy. We're like, no, he discovered America. He got off the boat and was talking to everybody who was already there. Letting him know he discovered it. You know what I mean? So, that's how I discover stuff. I just roll up in somebody's house and I'm like, man, this is nice. I'm glad nobody's here. And they're like, excuse me, what are you doing in my house? I'm like, oh, who are you? It's like, I'm the owner of this house. That's debatable. Because what would a conversation between Columbus and the natives even gone like? He gets off the boat and he's like, what are y'all doing here? And like, we live here. He's like, oh, hell on that. Look, what do you mean you've been here for generations and generations and you have your own ecosystem and like war and like hierarchy? I just got here, so it's been discovered. And they're like, I don't really think it works like that, dude. And he's like, well, can y'all at least like, I got my boys on the boat. Can y'all at least just go in the woods? So when they get off the boat, it look like nobody here. Like they honestly came so far. They'll be really bummed out if they see you. It's gonna ruin everybody's day. Can you please just go in the? And they're like, no, we're not gonna do that. He's like, I get it. I guess we'll just kill everyone. I know the true part is the saddest part. I know. But it makes me wonder. It's like when you look at visionaries, there are people that we hold up as true beacons, right? That maybe they did some stuff, maybe they didn't, Like I think about with math. We talk about Pythagoras. You learn about him in school, and it makes us feel smart. Like, oh, Pythagoras with the triangles, and don't I know so much? And it's like, no, let's talk about real math. Who made real math? Who made math? We don't know. Who made real math? Somebody had to sit there and be like, this shit is 2. There's just something about it that feels... Yeah, I mean, something about it feel 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see it and it's like, I don't know, it's not... And then they were probably talking to a person. The person was like, what? Nigga, what the fuck is 2? And they were like, well, you know how you're you? Like, you're just you. And they were like, yeah? It's like, yeah, it's just you. So that's like 1 or something. And then this is like, I'm not you. I'm not you at all. I'm like me. So I'm also like a 1, I guess. But then us talking, that's like, that can't still be 1, right? It's gotta be something else. Like, we just give it a name. And he's like, but what the fuck made you say 2? Like, there's something you're stuck in between your teeth? Like, what made you say 2? He's like, I don't know, it just feels like 2. You know, it feels double of what, and they were like, nigga, what the fuck is double? You know? Like, I think about that with things get invented now, they get made now so quickly that it's skipping us. I don't, not only do I not know how my phone works, because of my phone, I don't need to know how things work. I know things anymore. Because I don't need to know anything. I was about to learn directions. I was so close. I really was. Like, I was, you know what I mean? I didn't have my first phone yet, and I was about to learn because I was like, I keep getting lost. I never make it home on time, and I don't have a car, so I'm just always on foot, which thank God, because if you drive in the wrong direction, you're never going to make it home. So I was like, I'm going to learn directions. Like, sooner or later, you need to know what west is. I had no idea what west was. Some people would say, go west. I was like, left or right? Don't hit me with all of this 4 stuff. You know what I mean? And then I got a phone, and on the phone was a compass. So now, I got Google Maps and a compass. I'll never be lost again. I'm good. You know, but it got me wondering, like, who made the compass? Like, we don't make it famous. Who made the compass? But, like, I'm sure there's an answer somewhere, but we don't talk about who made the compass, because that was also probably like a 2-type conversation. Somebody made a compass, and they were like, yeah, this will get you home. And they were like, what do you, it's just pointing, it's moving, it's just pointing random. How is that? That's confusing as hell. Is home this way or this way? Keep moving. Why is it moving if it's gonna help me get home? Is it magic? Are you a witch? Are you a witch? Because that's the other thing too. Up until a certain point, you really couldn't be smart without being accused of being a witch. We killed all the smart people. We wonder why people in the medieval times didn't have it better. It's because they murdered anyone with a good idea. If somebody was like, maybe we should wash our hands, it's like, that's a witch. That's a... Oh, get him quick. Get him, all right? And definitely, if you were a smart woman, you were gone. It was just fact. And so they gave him a compass, and he's like, what is it supposed to do? And it's like, it'll get you home. It knows where north is. How does it know? Well, it doesn't know. It uses magnetism. What the fuck is magnetism? It's like, just trust me. It'll point north. You'll be able to get home that way. Please trust me. You'll get home if you just follow it. Because that's the other problem, is that if you invent something, if you're a visionary, you have to make things for people who not only weren't able to make the thing, they might not understand the thing. When Ford was selling cars, right? He used to sell cars like door-to-door style, which had to be a motherfucker. Because then it's like you drove out here to sell the car, right? Even if you make the sale, now you like, bro, can I get a ride? But that's what would happen. Ford would make the sale, right? And the way that he would make the sale is he would teach people to drive. And when they saw how quickly they were getting places, how easy driving was, they bought the car, you know? Especially if he was going to like a wealthy or even like mid-level class farmer's house or something. Because they needed cars the most. You used to have to just... I don't know. Anyway, and that much walking is just beyond me. Anyway, so he would sell the car, and he noted it's like in his autobiography, not his autobiography, his biography and stuff, about how people were so unequipped for this new idea so deeply that when they were driving the car, instead of hitting the brake, because they didn't understand what brakes were yet, instead of hitting the brake, they would yell, "Whoa!" in the car because they were only used to being on horses, right? Which must have been crazy, because imagine you in a like 1920s car, so already not a safe vehicle by the seatbelts hadn't been invented yet, and the motherfucker is speeding going, whoa! Whoa! You're like, actually, you need to step over there. You need to step.
No, I think about it a lot. How do you truly appreciate like a visionary? Usually we just let them cook. We don't kill them anymore. We don't, unless they're trying to promote peace, and then they gotta go. Those. Yeah. Don't be too good of a person. We'll get you. You know what I mean? But that's it. How do I put this? This is completely unrelated now. I'm moving on. So I don't want you to be confused with like, does this still mean something to the other thing? I don't know what I'm gonna do about it, but I think that my face is too friendly. It's really upsetting. Like, you don't understand. Like, I don't even mean to be this way, but I'm like, it's my attitude and it's my face. I just think it's too much. It's like I don't know. Everyone that sees me on the street is like, you want to talk? It's like, and it's very jarring. It's like, some of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you have, some of y'all look, I can see good smiles in here. Some of y'all have that smile that makes people go, I can be a part of your day. And it's the last dude that just saw me, and I just walk around with a sort of half smile, because when I read about it when I was like in my early 20s, I was like reading this book, and it talked about how you should walk around with a half smile, so anytime someone needs a smile, you're halfway there, right? And so then I was like, yeah! And so I adopted it as a person, and so I'm walking around with this half smile. But if you half smile at crazy motherfuckers in New York, that is an invitation. It's not, but it is. They take it as one, even though they should. And so I was just walking, half smile, enjoying my day, enjoying life. And then a dude with just his feet were in buckets. All right? My man's shoes were buckets, okay? I don't even know if he had real shoes on in the but the bucket seemed taut. Like, it seemed like it was sticking to the foot. And he just walked up and he was like, "What's up, young brother?" It's like, hey, what's up, man? What's up? How you doing? Because this is also like a black thing that a lot of people don't know about. When you're walking down the street and you see another black guy, the number of brothers he calls you is the situation that you're in. If he goes, "Hey, brother," that's just another black guy. If he's like, hey, brother," he needs something. If he goes, hey brother, that is drugs. That's drugs every time. No one needs you to call you brother that much unless they're your actual brother, okay? So I'm walking over and this man is like, hey brother. I'm like, I am in danger, okay? This is a lot, and I don't know if y'all like. I'm being real for a second. I don't know if y'all have ever felt this, but have you ever had somebody try to rob you before? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Did you feel it before they did anything? Were you like, oh, okay, he on some bullshit? Like this, you know what I mean? Okay. So this man walks up. He's called me brother 17 times in 6 bucket steps. So he is on one. My man is cooking. He is on one, right? And so he was, and then he walks up, and I can already see from the stance that he got the buckets ready to run in case he needed to run. Like, because he not standing just flat bucket. He got that tip. For those of y'all in the back that can't see, he got his foot like this. So when he need to go, he can go, right? So my man is like this with the bucket. The bucket's like sideways, you know what I mean? And so he's like, do you have the time? And I just looked at him and I was like, yeah, 4:22. And he looked so disappointed. He's like, who just knows the time, right? And I didn't know the time, I made it up. But it seemed like time wasn't really an issue for me.
And so then he was like, hey, wow, that was fast. You got a watch? And I was like, no, I just know that it's 4:22. And it's like, oh, did you just look at your phone or something? You got a phone? It's like, why would you ask me if I have a phone? Right? So that's when I knew he was going to try to rob me, right? And so then he was like, you got a phone or something? I was like, yeah, I have a phone. I looked at it 2 minutes ago when it was 4:20. So that's how I know it's 4:22 now. And he made this move. And this is the thing, it takes a crazy person or a brave person to try to rob bare hand, right? You bare-handed and you bucket-footed. That's not a recipe for success. And so my man he's like this, and he's like, you got a phone or something? I was like, yeah, I have a phone, and looked at it 420, everything. And then he's like, give me the phone. And then when he reached and tried to say, give me the phone, he reached for my pockets, right? So he tried to reach for the pocket. I took a step back, and this is when you need shoes. My man started slipping on the bucket. So he's just doing this. He's just like slipping on buckets so hard. And I'm just backing away, but he's skating towards me on buckets. He like getting closer and closer on buckets. And so then I'm backing up and everything, and he's like, give me the phone, give me the phone. I was like, I'm not gonna give you my phone. And then he got finally I had backed up into a wall. So now it's like fighting time, you know what I mean? And so now I'm in the wall. He keeps sliding up to me. He's like, give me the phone. I said, give me the phone. And so I just pushed him. And the way he fell back, because basically it was, okay, you know when Bambi's mom died? Like, you know how sad you felt? This man was trying to rob me, but it took him so long to slip on these buckets that I almost helped him. Like, it was like, because he was like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. He was on his own footed roller coaster. And I almost reached my hand, and I was like, no, wait, this nigga tried to rob me. He deserves nothing. And then he fell back, and then I ran, which is crazy. How was he gonna catch up to me if it wasn't downhill? You know what I mean? You all were so great. Thank you so much. I'm Josh. I don't know if you can tell by looking at me, but I was fired from being in a gang. They kicked me out because I was too positive. They were like, why you always smiling, dog? I'm like, I mean, none of us are dead or in jail, and we're a gang. They also kicked me out because I apologized too much. Our drive-bys sounded like, sorry. Like, that's... After a while, I saw their point, you know? And even when it came down to it, and they were kicking me out, and I was like, I just want to hang out with my friends, and you guys are my friends, and now I don't know what I'm gonna do. Why do I have to leave? And they were like, bro, you giggle. You just like a bad influence, dog. You know what I mean? Like, you over here bringing in puppies and lemonade and like... So I'm out. I didn't know that I looked busted today until a homeless man didn't bother asking me for change. And he asked everyone, all right? He was like, hey, brother, hey, brother, hey, brother, hey, brother. Hey, brother, hey, brother, hey, brother. Oh, it hurt my soul. I took an Uber to get here, and I've come to a decision. We should not be able to see the car in the app on the way to pick us up. It's a bad idea. You are only watching mistakes. You are just watching like, oh yeah, 6 rights and you'll be here. That's perfect. That is Wonderful, that's just what I wanted, you know? No, take another right, that makes sense. No, you should pass me, you're right, you know? Sometimes the car will disappear and then reappear in a place that is still not here, you know what I mean? And you're like, wow, teleportation, I had no idea we had reached this level of technology, that's amazing. Sometimes the car will just start spinning. And it'll spin further away from you, and you're like, is he drunk? Should I get in the car, you know? It's terrible, and it's disrespectful to the driver, you know? Because it's only their job to drive you, not to look cool on the way to pick you up. It's not their job to drift down the street and land in front of you perfectly. Pop the car door open like Ryan Gosling. It's just their job to drive you. They're not at work yet, and you're watching them. Imagine if you had that. Imagine if your boss had you on a screen before you got to work. It's like, okay, this man know he late and he going to Starbucks. All right. Okay, we're gonna have to have a discussion. It's terrible. I used to think a lot about who I wanted to be when I grew up, like what I wanted to be, everything, you know, and I think I finally decided when I grow up, I want to be the dude that I am on the first date. That would be amazing if I could be that dude for real. That is... He is somebody to aspire to, you know what I mean? That dude Reed. He pulled chairs out for people. I don't even pull out the chair for myself. I actually stick my leg under the table and drag the chair out like an animal and then sit down in it. And he's got money. You know what I mean? Like, my second date's just... We going through samples at Whole Foods while we learn about each other. I haven't always lived here. I actually moved to New York from Chicago. Me too. And I quickly realized how proud New Yorkers are of their time. What I mean by that is how, like, long they lived here. You know what I mean? Like people be like, I'm a real New Yorker, dog. I've been here 8 years. And then somebody in the back that nobody was talking to goes, nah, man, it doesn't start till 10. Like, what are you talking about? Your New York time shouldn't be measured by calendar year. It should be measured by your experiences, you know? Like, if we all moved to New York tonight, and we got off the plane and we got on the train, and then we got off the train as the train doors open, a homeless man coughs in your mouth, you've been here 2 years. That's 2 full years right there. I was walking down Times Square, which was my mistake, you know what I mean? And I was walking down the street, I saw this young woman, clearly not from New York, because she was smiling very wide. She was genuinely happy. And you also could tell that she wasn't from here because she was looking up at, like, the screens and the buildings and everything, and she was just blown away because she had seen this in movies, and it's here now in front of her. This is insane, you know? And so then she opened her mouth to say, wow. Everyone who laughed is from New York. She opened her mouth to say wow because she was full of joy and hope and life. And as soon as she opened her mouth to say wow, a bag flew in her mouth. And it's like, yeah, that's what happens here, all right? Were you happy? New York noticed, and it's in a dirty Walgreens bag to fly halfway in your head. close your mouth and tuck your chin like an adult. To take the train everywhere, and it's exhausting. I know that everyone doesn't have this problem, but I'm like, I don't know, I'm just pressed up against people the entire ride, just like mushed in between people. I'm surprised no one is in me. I'm pressed up against so many people so hard. And I'm not a big man, so if I get pressed up against two big men, it's not uncommon for my feet to leave the ground. So now I'm just dangling in between two grown men as the train goes. And then they go to get off, I'm like, sir, please don't do this. I got 3 more stops, please. Like, it's a terrible feeling. I was on the train with one of those ladies that had those baby backpacks. You know what I'm talking about? Where the baby is the backpack. Like, she don't want to look at her kid. Like the baby hanging in the other direction, you know, in some sort of like suspended timeout. Baby could be gone for all she knows. It could be a sack of potatoes traded for a baby and she'd still just keep walking, you know what I mean? So it was just me and the baby pressed up against each other, nose to nose like this, just mushing heads. And this is a baby, that's a soft head. I should not be mushing my grown skull against this baby, you know? But I'm mushing up against the baby and I look at the baby and the baby looks at me and he's like, I don't know. I don't know what you want me to do. I'm a baby. My feet don't touch the ground either. And then the train sped up, and as it sped up, it like shook a little bit, and the baby, I don't know what age of baby this baby was, but he definitely wasn't like hold his own head up age. Like he was out here. So then the train sped up and the baby went weightless, and for a split second his little foot went in my mouth, right? And like not, like I didn't close my mouth, I didn't suck on his foot, but still, it was a baby foot in the dirty New York air, you know what I mean? And so I'm choking, and as I'm choking, because there's no shoe, but I mean, I'm choking, and I look at the baby and the baby looks at me, he's like, I don't know what you're doing.
Who would have thought, by the way, who would have thought that it would be this administration, that it would be Biden's White House that brought us apparently the most dangerous dog of all time? If you didn't read the story, basically Biden's dog, named Commander, by the way, that's a Cujo-ass name right there. That Commander, what happened to Skip? Like, anyway, Biden's dog is on record. They've been keeping a tally for biting people at the White House 24 times. No dog should bite more times than years you expect it to live. 24 is a high number. And I think a lot of people are looking at this the wrong way. I really do. A lot of people are out here being like, I can't believe they letting this dog run amok in the White House. Why can't Biden control his dog? Everything. I think they're looking at it the wrong way. I'll be honest with you, because in my opinion, I'm on Commander's side. I really am. Because a lot of these dogs out here, they wear the vest. They wear the vest that says emotional support dog, and they talk about them being the emotional support dogs, but they're not really about that life. Every emotional support dog I've ever seen has been very passive. And now we want to punish one for taking action. Commander just got good ears. That's all it is. His ears good as hell. Dogs have great ears. Commander hear everything. He in the White House. He hears people.
He hears people on the other side of walls, behind doors, talking shifty behind Biden's back. You know how politics can be? And then they walk out into the hallway. And Commander's standing there, looking at him like, call my daddy old again. No, don't back up. Don't back up. No, you was talking all that good shit earlier. What's... Say it again. You know what trips me out about this story? You know what really stresses me out about it? Is that when you read the story, Biden's dog is on record biting 24 times. That's what's recorded, which means there are definitely unrecorded bites. That's just the ones people felt like staying to file something. Some people went to the White House, got bit, and didn't want to stand around to be like, it was him. Ooh. The other thing that really trips me out about this story is that the dog is on record biting 24 times. Never said 24 people. Which means somebody getting bit extra. There's a chance this dog has only bitten 5 people. He bit 4 people once, and then some poor dude named Wallace was just catching it. Nonstop, once a week, he knew. He knew that ass was grass. He knew. I'd like to think. I'm sure that for that many bites, that means that Commander bit somebody in at least one of Joe Biden's Zoom backgrounds. Biden on with the Prime Minister or somewhere, you just see somebody in the background going like, but I think they're looking at it the wrong way. I really do. You know, talking about why is this dog even in the White House? He bit Secret Service. Just make Commander Secret Service. You know, Secret Service is very predictable. I actually worked at the Tonight Show when Obama visited, and so Secret Service was there. And you see them in action. Look. Big dudes look very Men in Black. They got the shades, they got the earpiece, everything. They're standing next to the door. I'm not gonna lie, that must be like hell when you Secret Service, because anytime you stand next to a door, there are people that are like, is the president behind that door? You know? But yeah, you would see Secret Service stand there, and look, I'm sure they're very good at their job. I'm sure they could kill you any manner of ways. But tell me what's more intimidating. A dude standing there that you might be able to get past, or a random dog. A random dog standing in the hallway that we know bites. It would fix so many different things if they would just let Commander be Secret Service. It really would. You know? Sometimes Biden is giving a speech, and look, please. It's fine. It's me. You don't have to hold back, all right? It's me. I'm your friend. Don't pull back on me. We all know that sometimes Biden is giving a speech And we are like, just get through it. We all know it, you know? It's fine. You don't look, I'm just stating a fact. All right? Don't pull back on me. I also voted for the man. Fox News is not here right now. We can all be honest. Sometimes, not every time, not every day, but sometimes Biden is giving a speech and it low-key looked like he having side conversations with death. We've all seen it. He is addressing the nation. And then out of nowhere, he'll be like, and he cussing death out too. Like he really let death have it. Like, you said you wouldn't take me on a Thursday. Why don't you get out my face? I'm trying to. And then he'll turn back to the camera like we didn't see any of that. The man is getting distracted sometimes. It happens. It happens. Happens to all of us, you know? You get distracted. But I think that's why you need commander. Instead, just Secret Service stand behind him being all quiet at everything. You have commander walking in front of the podium. Stalking. Looking for who he likes, who he doesn't like. Commander sees somebody and he's like,
hey! Cut that out!
Commander getting loud is exactly what Biden needs. Every 30 seconds, you know. Give him the speech, you go to turn. Oh, yes. Everybody wins. I love being here though, because y'all are great, you know. Genuinely, I don't know. Some parts of Portland do confuse me, and I'm not acting like I did the reading. So just let me be dumb for a second. You don't need to explain any of it. I'm just saying it did. 12 bridges is a lot. At 12 bridges, I don't know if everybody trying to get in or everybody trying to get out, but that's a lot of bridges. That sounds like y'all just let somebody go. Like you just let somebody cook who really like making bridges. Like everywhere you took him, he was like, you know what'd be dope right here? Like, don't say it, Steven. Don't say it. No, we put a bridge right here. Oh, it's gonna be lit, and it won't. But there's a bridge right there, Steve. And it's like, yeah, but you're not always over there. Sometimes you over here, and over here doesn't have a bridge. I'm trying to bring people together. You're trying to block blessings. 12 bridges is so much. Look, this is gonna make me sound dumber. I don't even know where all. At 12 bridges, one of those bridges gotta be to Narnia. There's no way that y'all have 12 different bridges going somewhere. That's crazy. I like being here because y'all are very, very self-aware people.
maybe the most self-aware of any city that I've ever met. This is generally distressed. You'll just be making a general observation, be like, man, things are kind of odd here, and y'all are like, we know. We try. You know? And you'll be like, I'm not complaining. I've had very good food since I've been here, but y'all have some of the most like, it's too many weird things at once. Do you know what I mean? That's my, if I could give you a note. As a city, you have mixed and matched the weird in too many different ways as to not seem like you are on planet Earth. I was just trying to have some eggs Benedict. And it's crazy, you in a place where you getting delicious eggs Benedict and somebody's balls are out right next to you. And I'm over here, dipping in my hollandaise. I have not, this is my thing. All of this, I have not been here long. All of Portland happened to me today. At least New York gives you like a second before someone robs you. They let you get situated, get a little comfortable, let your guard down, then they snatch you. Y'all just come right out the pocket. I met somebody acting crazy as hell. Not even just acting crazy as hell. And that was my Uber driver. That's like, y'all really don't mess around. Y'all want people to know. So I do, y'all are some of the most creative. I'm just trying to use nice words for it. I saw a dude with a cape wearing a computer monitor. Dancing to no music. This man just on the street like, all right. Blown away, but I've had some good food since I've been here. Y'all are interesting because it's like y'all are weird, but also like some of y'all just very, very healthy, health conscious, healthy food and everything. This seemed like the only city in America that might have organic crack. Like. Y'all are really doing it all. I'll be honest with y'all. I don't smoke weed, but I let people think I do. Because it makes me make more sense to people. Like if I told you my thoughts and you knew I was sober, you'd be like, ooh, is he slow or something? What's going on? But if I told you my thoughts and you thought I was high, you'd be like, he really on to something. I like how he thinks. That's fire right there. I'll give you an example right now. Like I wish I could talk to bugs. And not all the animals. I'm not trying to get input from everybody, just bugs. Because I feel like it would save a lot of lives, you know. Because how many times have you been at home chilling and in the corner of the room you just hear
But if you could talk to bugs, if you could be like, hey, bruh, no. Not tonight. I'm not in the mood. I'm gonna open the window, I'm gonna need you to leave. And then he'd be like, sorry. But because we don't speak their language, it's just every time. It's just murders in your house. Let's say you bring somebody home, you have a date, date's going well, date comes back with you to your place, you in the Netflix portion of the Netflix and chill. You got the arm around, y'all making out, and then just a cockroach walk out to the middle of the room. If you could just be like, Carl, no. Not tonight, I got company here, come on now. Come on, bro. He'd be like, I'm sorry, that's my bad. Even she'd be understanding. She'd be like, he had no way of knowing I was coming. That's it happens. If I could talk to bugs, first bug that I talk to would be a praying mantis. I just walk up to him and be like, she ain't good for you, dog. Nah, don't do this. You and the boys for a little while. She just using you for your body, okay? No, not even sex. You got a tasty ass head. And she wants to eat you. I watch the news sometimes when I'm like not depressed enough, you know? You know, sometimes you're having a good day, you turn on the news, you're like, let's see who else is having a good day. And the news is like, nobody. Nobody having a good day. Everybody died. So I turned on the news and I saw Kamala Harris was in Jakarta. And she was in an interview with a journalist. And during the interview, the journalist asked her if she would be ready, willing, and able to take up the office of president if Biden was, for whatever reason, incapacitated. And she said, yes, and it was just too quick. That's way too fast. And don't get me wrong, that's literally her job. Her job to be there in case he not there, she there, right? That's her whole job. But she said yes, like she been dropping banana peels at the White House for years. That's way too fast. She said yes, like every time Biden get on some steps, her mouth water. Just like, oh, okay, it's the day. All right, I'm gonna get my promotion. Oh, he about to miss that third step. Let me get the right pantsuit on. She said it like just anytime she's walking down the stairs behind him, she sees her hair shaking like she about to lean forward. I could be a world leader. And you could tell, she said yes too fast. Because she said, yeah, so he asked her, she was like, yes, ooh. Like, shit. And so then she started backtracking, which just made it sound worse. She was like, I'm just answering your hypothetical. Like, you the one over here asking a question about Biden stronger than ever. All right, calm down. Do y'all see they want to impeach Biden now? Do you see they're trying to open the investigation and impeach Biden? It's starting to feel like if you don't get impeached, you weren't really president. Like this started to feel like street cred for presidents. You know what I mean? They want to impeach you. Here's my thing about Biden. And calm down, because I can already feel it. For real. Like I said 2 words and already people were like, what? Like it was. This was so annoying about being American right now. You get like 2 words in and people try to suss out where you are. Like, we haven't done that since the Civil War. Like, chill out. I said 2 things. I just said, here's my thing about Biden. And immediately, I could feel y'all's eyes on me like, oh, I didn't know they invited Candace Owens' brother to do a set. No. Here's my thing about Biden. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you show me evidence, I'll consider something. I'm not a biased person. Maybe he doing everything that the Republicans say he doing, but when we look over at him, he just look tired. Like, he doesn't look, I mean, I'm not even saying he can't be corrupt. I'm saying he doesn't look capable right now. He look... You know, maybe he's the worst criminal that we've ever had in the office, but when you look over him, he just looked like the Snoop Dogg of soup. You know what I
Yeah, everything Snoop Dogg did for weed, Biden doing for soup right now. Like he making soup cool. He trying to get the kids into soup. You know what I mean? It feels odd, you know, because it's like maybe he's a criminal mastermind, but it feels like he just hanging on. You know what I mean? That's a grandpa, and we put him to work. We did that, you know? You can't possibly believe that Biden is this criminal mastermind, but then also anytime he make it through a speech, we're like, that was pretty good. That was like, no, he really crushed that. He didn't slip on any of the S's. That was well done, well done. Yeah, I mean, there was a couple T's, and he stuck them like Simone Biles. I'm really proud of it. Well done. You know, there is one thing I will say, honestly, that Biden will be doing that's not on the up and up. If you watch as many press conferences as I watch with Biden talking, it's only when they ask him a good-ass question he start acting senile. I'm not gonna lie. Like, anytime they got a good-ass question dead to rights, that's when he start talking about Disneyland and hanging out on Mars with Larry Bird. I'm like, you were fine a second ago. Like, you know, this feels weird. I don't know why more world leaders don't do that. You know, a lot of them old, just start doing the Biden card. You get in trouble. That's what Putin should do. Think about it. Putin would buy a lot of goodwill if he just fell down a flight of steps every day. If every day for a month, Putin just, like just every day. You'd be catching people a month from now being like, he's a fucking war criminal. And we'd be like, yeah, but it looked like he got bad knees. Leave him alone. They try to interview him. They're like, why are you still laying siege to Ukraine? And he's like, Ukraine? Is that one of my grandbabies? Like, oh. And they're even coming for Hunter now. You saw Hunter got indicted. That's wild. That's oof. They really coming for the Bidens hard, you know. I love Hunter. I really do. I really do. No, hear me out. I do. I love Hunter because I'm just so glad that the first person to smoke crack in the White House was white. That's beautiful. That's absolutely incredible. Especially if you know the history of crack in the U.S. You're like, wow, yes. Thank goodness. It really makes the White House to crack relationship feel like it's come full circle now. Yeah. I am disappointed, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really do wish that Hunter would just get Joe to smoke crack. That would be the most fire presidency of all time. I know nobody's on board with this, but hear me out, okay? First of all, Biden will never fall again, all right? Crackheads do not fall, okay? You could push Biden and he still hit an angle. Like, it's like, I'm telling you, he'd never go down again. You'd never have to worry. He would skip steps on the way up. My man would be fucking feeling himself. You'd never have a boring press conference again. Biden press conferences are a snooze fest right now. Just, you know what I mean? Not on crack. Not on crack. Not on crack. He'd be like, what? What was that? He got to scream because he sold the mic for money for more crack. But like, what was that? And Republicans would love if Biden was on crack because he'd finally be as bad of a president as they've been saying he is. Republicans could finally be like, he sold Indiana for $6 to China, all right? What the fuck we gonna do? We got citizens over there. And then as liberals, we would love if Biden was on crack because we'd finally have a Trump. You know what I mean? We act like we don't need a Trump, but we need one. We really do. As liberals, we need a Trump. We care about everybody feelings too much, but we get Biden smoking crack, Joe just going off. He not in control of what he's saying. We'd finally have a bully on our side, you know? Marjorie Taylor Greene be up there like, Joe Biden, you're a piece of shit. And then Joe, fully cracked out. Fully cracked out. It's like, oh, Mart, I'm a piece of shit. Well, you a lonely bitch. Aren't you getting divorced this year? Hope those conspiracy theories could keep you warm, lonely bitch. No, it'd be incredible. You would have to like rein him in, though. You'd see Joe trying to. try to wash the windshields of Air Force One. Mr. President, get down. Get down right now. Oh, it would be dope, man. How do I put this? I'll be honest with you, I've watched some porn before in my life. Thank you. And this is my thing. Porn, it gives people unrealistic expectations, you know what I mean? And we all know what they say about men, that porn gives men unrealistic expectations of sex, because porn makes men think, oh, if I just touch her elbow with my penis, she gonna lose it. You know what I mean? Like, if I just touch you, I'm like, ah! Thank you. But it's not just for men, it's for everyone. Porn gives everyone unrealistic expectations of sex, you know? Like, it makes men think that they're about to be sex gods, and it makes women think that the sex is about to be, like, good or whatever, you know what I mean? Everybody's gonna be disappointed.